Hi everyone! If you've ever had my cupcakes, then you know that the vanilla buttercream is slightly irresistible. So today I want to show you exactly the recipe that I use, and which is not mine, it's a recipe that I used from Unsophisticook, which I found on Pinterest, but I made a couple modifications. So I wanted to show you how I make it and the modifications that I make, which slightly make it my own. Sorry, I also have Zena in the background, so she's gonna be like my sous chef. All right, so now I'm gonna get started on our actual buttercream. So the items that you're going to need. We're gonna be starting with 2 sticks of salted butter. Now, one of the slight changes from the actual recipe is that, so it is the same, that it's supposed to be softened, but the way that I do it and the way that my Nana and Pop-Up did it is you just soften the butter by leaving out overnight. So when I first told my husband that, he was a little freaked out that people were gonna get sick, but I promise you, you're not gonna get sick. They actually always kept their butter out for, you know, forever. That's always how we had it growing up. So this is how I do it. So I leave it out the whole night, and so what you will end up with is a nice, perfectly softened butter. So I see that there. I can tell you that if you leave it out overnight, that will taste the best, because I've done this recipe for so many years, and softening it, you know, just like the day of, or softening in the microwave, nothing compared to leaving out overnight. It just, I don't know, something about it just makes it so much better. So next would be the confectioner's sugar. So I always use Domino sugar, and so the recipe doesn't specify this one in particular, but I always use this one, and this is the reason. So in the recipe it says you need to sift the powdered sugar, and I never do that when I use this powdered sugar. So I highly recommend, because when I use like a generic or cheaper one, it's always grainier and I have to sift it. With this, I never have to sift, and it saves so much time. So that's why I'm strongly urging you to use this one. Yes, you can use another one, but I'm telling you, this one is just, it makes it so much easier. One of the most important ingredients is the vanilla extract. Now, it needs to be pure vanilla extract. Yes, you can go with another one, a generic version, one that's not pure vanilla extract. It won't taste quite as good. It will still be good, for sure. I've used it before when I really just, you know, wanted to like cut costs or whatever, but I'm telling you that this one just gives it a little extra something that really makes it pop. So this is what you need to be using. Heavy cream, you're gonna be using 3 tablespoons of the heavy cream. The recipe calls for 3 to 5. I always use 3, and that's exactly the way that I like it. So usually I use a ShopRite one. This one happens to be a Walmart brand that my husband picked up, but it's gonna be just fine. And I have some sprinkles. and some draggies I'll be adding on after. You can add lots of different sprinkles. That's not really gonna affect the taste, maybe the consistency, but for the purposes of just the vanilla buttercream, these are the ingredients that you're going to need. And then you'll need a stand mixer. You can do it with hand one, but I feel like for some reason the stand one just kind of turns out a little bit better. You'll need a bowl for the powdered sugar. I'll show you how I do that. You need this for measuring out the cups of powdered sugar, some tablespoons, so tablespoon measure. And I usually use one of these, like the Star Wars one. Don't put this in the dishwasher, but this one for scraping the sides of the bowl to make sure it's good. And so now I'm gonna go through and get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is take the softened butter, place it into the mixing bowl, and we're gonna put that on medium for about 3 minutes until it's like a pale type of color. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, so while that's mixing up, I'm going to measure out the 4 cups of the powdered sugar. Important to use some sort of leveler, so I usually use the back of a butter knife. Nice and level. Take the butter out. As you might be able to tell from this, it's like a pale yellow color, and it's nice and like mixed up. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna incorporate the powdered sugar. So it usually says to add it like a cup at a time and then keep mixing it. But honestly, I usually just kind of like get it in there all together and then mix it up, and then I can take some moments to just kind of like remix it. Hi, puppy. I'm sorry. You're feeling neglected. Well, how would you make it? You probably have peanut butter. So this I'm just putting on low until it's incorporated. And then what I'll do is I'll stop it at some point and then just kind of like mix the sides, get the bottom, make sure it's mixed really well. All right, so checking on my cupcakes, I think they're finally ready. And then I'm gonna stop and scrape my, my icing. So now I'll be adding the 3 tablespoons of the whipping cream, heavy cream, same thing. And I'll be adding the 1 tablespoon of the vanilla extract. All right, so got the vanilla extract and the heavy cream added. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix on medium-high for a few minutes until it's a little bit more like stiff type of texture. All right, it's been a couple minutes, but I wanna make sure that I'm scraping the sides because I wanna ensure that there's no dry ingredients like left at the bottom. I'll put it on for like about another minute. All right, so right now we have a nice stiff type of icing. If you can see that well enough. Yeah. So that's exactly what we want to look, and we always want to make sure we taste test. All right, let's try it. It's good. So for the next part, for icing, we have to wait a while for the cupcakes to be fully cooled. If they are not fully cooled, if they're even the slightest bit warm, the buttercream will melt. So I repeat, I don't know if you can see Zena jumping up. Good. I should not jump. But anyway, don't let them be even the slightest bit warm because it will melt your buttercream and you do not want that to happen. Oh, look how high she can jump. All right, so this is how I'm able to get some nice rose looking type cupcakes. The Wilton Icer. So, well, let me zoom in again. So it's the Wilton Wilton Dessert Decorator Pro. I love this. I used to use the piping bags, but this makes it so much easier. So all you have to do is take off this part. So I added in, there's these different nozzles that they come in. So you add this in and then you screw that together. And then you put the icing in here. So you pull this back so you can push it. Yeah, that's right. Actually need a knife. So add the icing in. I think it's a lot easier than an icing bag, piping bag, whatever they're called. Not everyone thinks so, but I like these ones. And then you can just, so the first little bit, there's a little bit of air that it lets out. So you just kind of like let that go easily, and then the icing will come out just like that. And then we'll be able to ice cupcakes. All right, so the cupcakes are finally cooled. So I'm just gonna take 6 right here that I'm gonna use as an example, and then I'm just gonna show you how I would display them. I'm gonna go ahead now and show you how I would do the icing. So it gets about like 2 for, then I have to replenish it. My cousin Mandy taught me how to do this. One more. That's how they look close up. So next I'm just gonna add some sprinkles. And then I have one more thing that I will add to make this platter a little bit nicer looking. And that's this little centerpiece. So I'm putting this in the middle. And there you have it. Some winter wonderland cupcakes with the best ever buttercream frosting.